What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, occasionally I read an article or see an interview, and I just can't pass it up. I have to share it with you guys because sharing is caring. I read an interview with Keith One Time Thurman, and it was hilarious to me, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. Let me know your comments and your thoughts on this. And Keith Thurman was advising Amir Khan that his move up to 147 is not a good look. As you guys know, Keith Thurman just had an impressive win over Diego Chavez, who definitely brought him in the trenches, made him adapt in that particular fight, and he's known for his power, Keith Thurman, that is. So Keith Thurman is saying that he doesn't agree with Amir Khan moving up to 147. This is what Keith Thurman had to say. I don't see a lot of fights going 12 rounds. I beat my head over the simple fact I got 2 fights on my record that went the distance. I really don't understand why fights go the distance. If you're really fighting, somebody should be getting beat up and beat down. He couldn't take Danny Garcia's left hook at 140. I really don't think Amir Khan has any business stepping up into the 147-pound division. That's from Keith Thurman regarding Amir Khan. He said, I'm hungry for something else. If they had good reason and Al Heyman said, we got to take care of this guy, then we'll do it. I called out the world of boxing and I'm a man of my word. So, in essence, what he's saying is he doesn't see Amir Khan being successful at 147, not being able to take Danny Garcia's punch at 140. He thinks that he has more power and it wouldn't be a good look if they ever fought. And he has his sights on bigger and better paydays. And he doesn't really see a need to fight Amir Khan unless Al Heyman and his team, Team Thurman, I guess, put it together. So that's coming from Keith Thurman. I want to know what you guys think of this. I think it's hilarious. I would have to agree with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was a fighter that I mentioned, if you watched my channel a while ago, that he was entertaining, he had a good spirit, and he seemed very competitive, and he has power. Over time, Keith Thurman's actually panning out to be a little bit better technically than I thought. I thought he was rather sloppy, but his power kept him okay, and it looked like he had a pretty solid chin. But we're seeing in Keith Thurman's last 2 fights that he does have some boxing skill in there. He is not a fighter who's just relying solely on power. He can go to a plan B, and we've seen that. Right before his fight with Diego Chavez, Keith Thurman fought Zebic, who gave Andre Berto a lot of problems, and he learned a valuable lesson, in my opinion, in that fight, that you can't knock everybody out. You can have the most power in the world, but there's someone who can take your punch for 12 rounds. Even though he was very dominant in that fight, Zebic could have possibly won had he not been in the proper conditioning, but that wasn't the case. He looked like he was in great shape, and he was able to go the distance and come out with the victory in a dominant fashion. So I think that was a good fight to put under his young career, under his young pro career, to let him know that you can't knock everybody out. And sometimes these fighters are going to make you, when you get to the elite level, they're going to make you dig down deep or search for something you didn't know you had within. I think the Diego Chavez fight was a prime example of that. Diego Chavez, a person with a chin, a person with power, who was really coming to bring the fight to Keith Thurman. He didn't look scared. He looked very relaxed, very comfortable, showed boxing skills, showed movement, showed a chin, showed power, and he forced Keith Thurman to adjust and take the pace down. And then from that point, Keith Thurman started to look better and better, eventually stopping Diego Chavez in the 10th round. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from this kid. He's still young. He still can improve. He also moved up in weight to 154 and fought a slippery fighter in Carlos Quintana. And Quintana is one of those awkward fighters who is hard to look great against. And Keith Thurman looked really good against him. Certain fighters like Miguel Vasquez, Carlos Quintana, Ponce de Leon, just certain fighters like that, it's hard to look spectacular against them because they're very awkward, very crafty, very tricky. And Keith Thurman, I think he did a good job. So far, every test that he's had, he's rose to the occasion, and he looks to be improving, and it's good to see that evolution in a fighter. As far as his comments towards Amir Khan, I don't think Amir Khan, if I was his advisor, wants any parts of Keith Thurman. I think he's too powerful. He showed that going up in weight to 154 and knocking out or TKOing a true 154-pounder who's awkward, again, Carlos Quintana, and he went back down. So he has the conditioning to go all 12 rounds as displayed in the Zebic fight. He shows boxing skill. He looks very competitive, and he shows he has a chin in the Diego Chavez. Everything spells danger, in my opinion, for Khan. Khan relies heavily on speed and basic boxing ambush style skills, whereas Keith Thurman, he would definitely give up the speed advantage to Amir Khan, but I don't think Khan has the power to keep the bigger man off of him for 12 solid rounds. I just don't see it, especially Khan moving up in weight. Now, I did a video about Khan recently, and I don't take back what I said in that video. I'm a realist. Khan is an entertaining fighter. I have nothing against him as a human being. However, fair is fair, and I'm just being honest. I don't see Amir Khan as being elite, namely because if you look at most elite fighters, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, whoever you want to put in that elite column, one thing that these guys had, Shane Mosley's, the Juan Manuel Marquez's, one thing that all of these guys had, despite their style, is a chin. They could take a punch. Muhammad Ali, that goes without question. He's getting hit by George Foreman in his prime, a young, strong fighter who was just damaging heavy bags and making it look like it was a fucking bag of rice or some shit. Juan Manuel Marquez fighting since he was young, fighting since the early 90s, like 1993. He's never been stopped in his career, and he's been in there with some great opposition. Pacquiao couldn't stop him. He knocked him down, but he couldn't stop him. Juan Diaz, a younger fighter. I mean, Marquez has a solid resume. And again, that is one of the components that I think is almost necessary to be elite. And to me, Amir Khan doesn't show that. What he does show is heart, determination. He doesn't have that give up spirit. You really got to stop him in order to win, I guess. But at the same time, I don't think his chin is solid enough to compete at a high level, especially against a bigger man. And I don't think his defense is. With Virgil Hunter, he's fighting a more cautious fight. He's slowing it down a bit, but it's also, in my opinion, taking away some of the element that made Amir Khan dangerous in his previous fights. The reason he's able to win and look good for so long was because of his style. Fast flurries, ambush style, overwhelming people like Paulie Malignaggi. But as you step up in competition and you get the Lamont Petersons of the world, or if you were to fight Keith Thurman, or you get the Danny Garcias, they're going to test your chin. I mean, it's just a fact. They're going to make you make some kind of adjustments. And ultimately, I don't think Amir Khan has the chin that is durable enough to bang it out with guys like Keith Thurman, who are naturally bigger than him and punch harder than him. And I don't think he has the ring intelligence to succeed. So, in my opinion, I don't see him beating Keith Thurman at all. Even if he is superior in the boxing department and speed department, the ultimate equalizer for a fighter like Khan is that power, just having that nasty power and some boxing ability, and a chin yourself. I really don't see it. I see Keith Thurman making the necessary adjustments, dealing with the speed, taking the shots, and probably just walking him down to the point where Amir Khan can't keep him off. Like once Thurman realizes that Khan, he's fast, but his shots won't knock him out, then I think he's just going to walk him down and it's going to be lights out for Khan. That's just my personal opinion. Again, props to Khan for never backing down, even having a glass chin, or people say he has a glass chin, shaky chin, whatever you want to call it, and still wanting to fight everybody. I mean, that's something he showed. So I don't renege or take that back, but I just don't see him being able to deal with the bigger man with much more power at 147. I think a safer fight for Khan would be fights like Devin Alexander, someone not known for devastating punching power, just overall slick boxer. And Khan still has some advantages, but the type of power that Keith Thurman is showing, again, moving up in 154, stopping undefeated fighters with good boxing ability like Diego Chavez, I don't think Khan wants any parts of him. Let me know what you guys think of this potential matchup. Do you agree with Keith Thurman? Do you think Khan wins? Let me know something. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.